Hey guys, welcome back to another Battlefield 6 video, and today we're gonna have a look at some changes and additions that have been made with the latest update, but that you might have missed so far, also because not too many people are talking about them. And we get right in with the first addition, that is a new target on the firing range. I gotta admit though that this one is a bit more noticeable. So here you can now find a target that is placed at the 5-meter mark and allows you to test damage and setups in very short range. Also, if you shouldn't have noticed yet, the bug where the settings were not showing up when you try to access them on the firing range was also fixed. And talking about settings, we also got a new setting that allows you to disable the projection for hit indicators separately from the crosshair projection. You can find this under HUD and then scroll all the way down to hit indicator, and with this new option turned on like it is by default, the hit indicators will follow the movement of your crosshair or of your sight when shooting or when moving. And with the option turned off, it will always stick to the center of your screen instead and will not follow your movement or your sight. Before the update, this was tied to the infantry crosshair projection you can find above, which works in the exact same way, but now you can set both of these independently from each other. If this is useful or not, however, you have to decide for yourself, because I would recommend to turn both either on or off, because otherwise if you have one on and the other one off, they might be misaligned, which I think is pretty confusing. Also, in general, I would recommend to turn both of those projections off to keep the crosshair and the indicators always in the middle of your screen. Next up, we have a handful of changes to attachments that you might have not noticed yet. The first one is that the iron sight for the L115 sniper rifle had its cost increased from 5 to 15 to bring it in line with the other sniper rifles. The RPK 74M had its cost for the synthetic tip ammunition decreased from 25 to 20 points. And they once again changed the thermal optics, because when looking through them now, your targets have a bit more of a glow around them than they did before. But here I'm honestly not quite sure if this is actually a new feature or if it's simply a new bug. And when you're scrolling through the game's menu, your profile, or the challenges, you can now clear all of the orange dots at once with a new button in the bottom right that says Mark All Seen. This will bring up a message the first time you use it on each page telling you what this button actually does, but if you set the checkbox to not show it again, it also shouldn't show up again. And after clicking the new button, all of the orange dots should be gone. However, the only page where this doesn't work at all for me is the loadouts. Here the message keeps popping up and the orange dots never disappear. I'm not sure if this is something everyone is experiencing, but it seems like this is not fully working yet, at least not for all of us. So I hope they fix it in the next update, because this button is actually a great addition. Next up, we have some more changes to the thermal smoke on vehicles. With the start of the season, this upgrade got a huge buff and now deals damage to infantry and also mitigates incoming damage from launchers. But this damage reduction was tweaked a little bit in the last update. And now a rocket from an RPG, for example, deals a maximum of 250 damage while the smoke is active, instead of the maximum of 173 that it did before. Additionally, the thermal smoke also no longer removes C4 explosives from the vehicle, no matter if they were placed before activating the smoke or after. But the smoke still deals damage to infantry, of course, so you still have to be careful when you are around the vehicle and you're trying to plant C4, but at least it still blows up now. And one more completely new addition is that the smoke generator upgrade now also provides the same damage reduction benefits as the thermal smoke does. So when the smoke generator gets activated and you shoot at a vehicle with an RPG, for example, you will also only deal a maximum of 250 damage, no matter at which angle or damage zone you hit it. However, it seems like it takes a little bit longer for this mechanic to take effect on the smoke generator compared to the thermal smoke, probably because the smoke is building up slower around the vehicle. And when we're already talking about RPGs and dealing damage, this gadget also got a little tweak, because with the recent update, the damage of the RPG against tanks and helicopters was increased again. Against tanks, it had ranged from 173 to 460 before the update, and was now increased to a range of 188 to 500. And against helicopters, it was 1035 before and was increased to 1125. But actually that doesn't make any difference, because you only need 1000 damage to destroy a helicopter. But against tanks, the RPG is almost back at the values that it had before Season 3, because back then it had a range between 186 and 549. So with the new damage values and considering the different health values of the vehicles that we have now, you still need at least 3 rockets to destroy one of the main battle tanks, but you only need 2 for an IFV or an anti-air, at least when hitting them in the rear. But before the update, you also needed at least 3 rockets on those 2 vehicles. Moving on, we also got some smaller changes to the flashbangs and the handheld jammer. The flashbangs now don't deal any damage to gadgets anymore, which was possible before the update, and the handheld jammer now disables the lights and visual effects on both of the support's intercept systems. So while they are jammed, the lights are out to better indicate that the gadget is intercepted and is not working at the moment. And lastly, we have 3 additions to the Battle Royale mode RedSec. First of all, the Recon class got a new training path. This one is called Disruptor and allows the Recon to swap its drone for the mobile jammer and the hardware suppression system to counter enemy gadgets. And this training path is actually not too bad. It enhances the radius of the mobile jammer, allows you to intercept stationary or mobile redeploy beacons when an enemy is trying to bring back their squad mates, and with the hardware suppression system you can target and destroy enemy UAVs. So definitely a good addition to the Recon class. The second addition to RedSec is that class, armory and tactical crates now reset and become lootable again once the second chance mechanic was disabled for everyone. And this is probably the most noticeable change, because this allows you to find a lot more loot throughout a match, or find some good loot again if you were redeployed. But most importantly, you can find a lot more armor plates, and you will also still find armor plates towards the end of a match, which usually was a problem. And the last change to RedSec is that the safes cannot be opened with grenade launchers and explosives anymore, which was possible before if you didn't know that, but now they can only be opened with the repair tool of the engineer. So the other classes are now completely locked out, quite literally. And that was it for today. These were some more changes that were made with the latest update, but that you might have not heard of so far. And if you enjoyed this video and you want to stay tuned for more content like this, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. I'm the Catwoman and you are awesome.